Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wake the hell up, turn the volume way up, because we've got another NFL Divisional Breakdown episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kobold, wearing this fucking Titan shirt, joined by my guy, Max Faulkner, and sitting here over to my left, wearing a jersey of my keeper, so I don't mind, Taylor Wilson, Indianapolis representative. What's up, brother?
Nothing much. It's good to see you guys again. I know I've been on here a couple times. It's been a long time. Who knows?
How long are we talking?
How many episodes in between? You guys are churning them out too. We're going to shout out that too.
Yeah.
But good to see you guys. For any of those listeners out there, diehard Colts fan, so you're going to hear a lot about it. Now Homer too, from Indianapolis as well.
Fair enough.
Big Colts fan here. And with that, with the Titan shirt, with the Colts shirt, you know what division we're breaking down. The AFC South, baby. Let's look at the results from last season. It was a tight one. With the AFC South last year.
Was it?
It was.
Not for one team, Cole Breezy. Not for one team.
Oh, no. You're right about that.
It was tight at the top. Damn it, Houston. They flipped the script. They picked number 2 and number 3. They win the division at 10-7. Jaguars barely miss out at 9-8. Colts were right there at 9-8. Dropped a fucking Tyler Goosen. Tyler Goosen dropped a pass that would have
couldn't
playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't get yourself worked up. Houston at 10-7. Jacksonville at 9-8. Indianapolis at 9-8. And my Titans were 6-11. Solid division, tight at the top. Any thoughts, Max, from last year for the AFC South?
Big surprise. I said right off the bat last season, Jaguars are going to take it's their division. Fuck the Colts. Titans aren't going to have anything in this and that. I did say don't sleep on Houston because of what they did in the draft with CJ Stroud. They also traded up to get that defensive player as well. I was like, you know what? They're looking pretty good. I did say that, but I did not expect them to win the division. So it was like a big shock, big surprise. So, hey, fun division now, boys. We got some competition here.
Very, very spicy division. We were definitely hammering the Colts in the basement last season. Wilson, give us your thoughts on our thoughts last year.
Here's some quotes, or maybe some loose quotes.
Got quoted.
He said, "Greedy ass Jim fucking Irsay," talking about JT because he was crying, and we later paid him. So everybody we got him paid, and now he's happy. He loves life right now. He said the Colts suck, 6.5 win total. You both were like, hammer the under, hammer it. And then about a minute later, he doubles down on it. They fucking suck. Hammer the under. No way they're getting 7 games. And we had Gardner fucking Minshew. You'll see with the Raiders, we had Gardner Minshew as the quarterback back there. We were the 10th scoring offense in the league. Better than the Texans, the Jags. They were tied, by the way, which is shocking. And then the Titans were 27, so who cares? I mean, what are we really talking about? But it was a close race. It was just a close race.
Yeah.
Got some good quotes from us there, huh?
Wow.
I was definitely emotional about Jonathan Taylor not getting paid, and he's got a back injury. Maybe he doesn't contractitis. I don't know what it was, but definitely Max a douchebag of the year candidate, and It was your pick for the AFC South Queef of the year last season. So that was good on you. Good on you. But let's look at this year here, fellas. Let's look at our positional rankings for the AFC South. The quarterback position. I'm going to go at the top here, boys. Anthony Richardson. I think he's got a lot of potential. I got him 5th overall at the quarterback position. I'm hyped on. I'm hyped on him. Cam Newton. CJ Stroud, I got him next. In the division. He only had 3 weekly finishes last year, better than QB9. In a week. Only 3 times was he better than QB9. Trevor Lawrence, I got him as the 3rd quarterback in the division. Over the last 3 seasons, Trevor Lawrence has less touchdown passes than Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers didn't play last season. Trevor Lawrence, he's got to prove something for me this year.
Yeah.
And at the basement, probably for all of us, Mr. Mayo, Bananarama, Will Levis of my Tennessee Titans. Just keep your eyes open on them. Max, quarterback rankings for me.
Yeah, let's just do a little flip at the top. I got CJ Stroud, baby. You kidding me with the weapons that he has? He's going to have a career year, and that's saying something for a guy that threw over 4,500. 45? I think it was I think it was over 45.
I'm gonna say no.
No? Okay, we'll
I'll
look that
I'll
up.
get it for you.
Yeah, look that up. CJ Stroud's going to have a big, big season with the weapons that he has. At number 2, I do have Anthony Richardson because of all the hype right now, because of the legs, the 4.45, whatever you said, Cole Breezy, and the fact that he might be the next Cam Newton. Yes, but he also got injured in the first 4 games of the season last year. So, can he figure out how to go down, to take some slides, run out of bounds rather than trying to, you know, get tackled by the big beefcakes. Okay, so and then at number 3, I do have Trevor Lawrence. I still think that he actually does have some weapons. He has Evan Ingram. I like Christian Kirk. They drafted Thomas from LSU. So you know what? Let's not sleep. Let's not sleep on that. And then we have no idea yet about Will Levis. So he has some weapons. Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins.
You got you got to have him at the basement. You got to have him at the basement for sure in this division. CJ Stroud last season as a rookie, 4,108 passing yards. Solid for his rookie season.
23-5, 23 touchdowns and five interceptions. That's pretty. 23-5, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's pretty impressive.
Give us your quarterback rankings, Queef.
That I would say CJ Stroud. That's what it leads me into. He was QB9 last year, and this year they've added Diggs, who he there for a while was 100-yard, 1 touchdown. It was just feasting. Whatever happened, but they got Nico Collins, Tank Dell back. I think Noah Brown got dropped today, which is sad. But next I'd go Trevor Lawrence. Could be shocking because I don't have AR there, but I'll get to that. Trevor Lawrence, I think this is a prove it year for me because he lost out on Ridley. I think they have the worst wide receiver core in the division. Mm-hmm. So you got to do something. And you guys started 8-3 last year and then queefed it out. He got hurt, but 1-5 the rest of the season. So AR next. I think either he's gonna get hurt early or he's just gonna have to play more as a quarterback because at least in preseason he's staying back in the pocket, not doing anything crazy. And so I don't think he's gonna be running as much, a designed run plays, just because of how he's gotten hurt. Like we see it, but I think the fantasy upside's still there a little bit, but I just get nervous. And then Levis at the bottom, I think he's gonna get his head knocked off of him. The way he plays, you check out some of the hits he's taken, even like he throws a pick and then a defensive lineman's diving into the end zone and he throws his body out there. I want him to be good, I guess, too. He seems like a Josh Allen, but he's gonna die this season.
He's got some big arms, Will Levis. He's got some thick biceps. That Mayo is going somewhere.
He's got the Mayo cologne too.
What?
You haven't seen those videos? Look it up. There's a video of whenever he's like promoting a Mayo cologne. I think as a joke, like leaning into it. But
I have a sense of humor. I'll take it.
Yeah. Good to have a sense of humor. Yeah, definitely. Will Levis is a fun guy. But I didn't think I'd be the highest on Anthony Richardson. I guess I'm just drooling over the potential, I guess.
Okay.
At the running back position for the AFC South, I'm going to start us off here, boys. I'm going both my keepers at the top. Jonathan Taylor, followed by Travis Etienne. I got both those guys in my top 6 of the running back position. Big years coming, keepers for me. Third, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is a solid third running back here. He's the only running back to finish top 12 in fantasy each of the last 3 seasons. Only running back finished top 12 each of the last 3 seasons. So Joe Mixon, he's consistent, goes to a new team. I'm excited about him in Houston. Unfortunately, just like the quarterback position, Tennessee Titans are going to be last for me at the running back position. Tony Pollard, I like the pickup. I think he's a year removed from that snapped fibula, so I think he's going to look better than what he did last year. And there's a lot of talk about Tyjae Spears. So unfortunately, I got the Titans in the basement. Max, are you going to agree or disagree with me?
I got the exact same thing. Yep. Taylor, Etienne, Mixon, and Tyjae Spears, and the Titans. Yep. I got nothing really more to say on that, boys.
Wilson, you going to threesome that or no?
Yeah, I will say we're a sneaky low-key division with running backs. If everybody is healthy, I know Mixon's old. But, I mean, JT, Etienne, Mixon, and Pollard, those are solid players. And you got Cam Akers. But, yeah, I will say the same. Colts, Jags, Texans, and Titans.
We're talking about those Titans running backs in a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the wide receiver position. I'm going to lead us off here, boys. The Houston Texans.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Houston Texans might have the best threesome in all of the NFL. We can debate that at a later time, but it's definitely at the top of the AFC South with Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell. I got all three of those guys in my top 25. I'm drooling about the
Tank
Houston
Dell, a wide
receivers.
receiver 3 in your top 25.
Crazy, crazy. I
Yeah,
know.
you are drooling all over that shirt. Go put it in the
I
washer
know.
already, would you?
I
Go put
know.
it in the washer. Jeez. You smell like your dog Bentley.
Second for the wide receiver position for the AFC South. I'm going my Titans. I'm going my Titans. The highest spot. I got my Titans amongst these positions. Calvin Ridley, big, big season coming. DeAndre Hopkins, borderline Hall of Famer. I like D Hop. Third, I'm going the Colts. Your guy Michael Pittman Jr. He's a solid dude, but after him, we're gonna see A.D. Mitchell and Josh Downs. I don't know about those guys. I'm going Jacksonville in the basement though. Christian Kirk. I know you like him, Max. I'm not sold on him. Brian Thomas Jr. 17 tutties last year for LSU. Big body. Gabe Davis is a queef though. So I'm going Houston, Tennessee, Indy, Jacksonville. Max, you gonna agree or disagree?
Texans number 1, no doubt about it. At number 2, I do have the Colts, though. I think it's a big season coming for Michael Pittman Jr. I think those touchdowns hopefully are going to go up with only 4 last season, if I'm not mistaken. But over 100 catches. Anthony Richardson, throw him the damn ball. Okay, don't just run on the ground. Throw him the damn ball. Hopefully, Anthony Richardson can throw the ball. I'm sure Queef Wilson over here can tell us a little bit more. But after that, I do have the Titans with Calvin Ridley, and then the Jags. Jags are sneaky. I'm just saying. I think the Jags are a little bit sneaky with that wide receiver core. I think Thomas Jr. can slip into that number 1 slot. I do think Christian Kirk is very reliable. Trevor Lawrence has loved this guy for all last season before he got hurt. He was his number 1 option. I know everyone's saying, "No, it was Calvin Ridley. It was Calvin Ridley." No, no, no. Look, go to the point where Christian Kirk got hurt because Christian Kirk was averaging 8 to 10 catches a game. Okay, so just saying.
Real quickly, since you think I'm drooling over Tank Dell, he scored more points per game than Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, and Cooper Kupp last year. So pretty solid names that you're looking at in your top 20 that Tank Dell scored more points per game last year as a rookie. Wilson, give us your receiver rankings for the AFC South.
I got the Texans number 1, just because we witnessed it first play of the last game of the season for us. Nico Collins for like a 75-yard touchdown in a playoff game, basically for the division. So he's amazing. Diggs, I've always loved Diggs. He's always been a great player despite all the drama. And then Tank Dell, I feel like he is going to be a great player for like years to come, like a superstar, just a smaller version. And then you got Bobby Trees, Mechie the third. He's coming back. I think he was Bama, wasn't he? And then you got the Titans as my number 2. I will say it.
Wow.
And it's only because I do like the aggressiveness. Like Hopkins, I've always liked him, even with the Texans. And Ridley, he busted us up whenever he was on the Jaguars. He's still a good player. And then Tyler Boyd, we hear so much. Will's over here talking about him. But it's a good squad, but then after that it dips hard. So it was a tough decision to put them over the Colts because you got bums the rest of the way. Sorry. Treylon Burks is who you tried to get or who you wanted instead of AJ Brown.
He's the 4th receiver. We're not worried about him.
Okay. But then you got the Colts. MPJ, I do think he's going to have a great year, but Josh Downs, he's hurt for the first 4 games. And then A.D. Mitchell, rookie, is he going to be wide receiver number 2 or Alec Pierce, who he can make some great catches, but he's not the best receiver. So, and then to final it out, the Jags, I would say at the end, just because they lost Ridley. Kirk is good, but Gabe Davis is a queef. I've had him in fantasy. He's done well, and he's done terrible. And then Thomas Jr., he's a player that I wanted on the Colts, but I just think that they're going to be at the bottom.
Last thing on the Titans wide receivers. If there's one word that I'm thinking, it's old. Yeah, old.
Sure.
Slow. There's another one. Old and slow.
Tyler's that old.
Just because you want to bring up fucking Alec Pierce, he ran the most routes out of anybody in the NFL last season. The cardio king. He didn't get the ball. He's just out there running around. So
he's a good blocker. He's a good wide receiver number 4. You can block.
But we got the same order, so nice. Finishes up here with the tight end position. I'm going Jacksonville. Evan Ingram. He's in my top 10. Max, we got a brew bet on this guy. I'm not as high as you are, but I think we can all say we got Evan Ingram number 1. Let's not forget, though, just under 40% of his total fantasy points last season came in 3 games. He didn't score a touchdown until week 13. He didn't score a touchdown until week 13 last year.
114 catches. You'll be happy.
You have him. You take him. I'm going Dalton Sharts, number 2. I'm going my guy, Chig Okonkwo, number 3. And just today, a new switch for the Indianapolis Colts at the tight end position. I'm going Kylan Granson at the basement. Max, give us your tight end rankings there.
Same exact thing. Evan Ingram, don't sleep on him. I'm telling you right now, this guy is one of the most elite tight ends in the game. Top 5 for me. Top 5 tight end. Go get him. 114 catches last season. You don't see that from tight ends.
Second ever. Wilson, give us your tight end rankings and tell us what's going on with the Colts at this position.
I got the same pretty much. Evan Ingram, I had him 2 years ago whenever he kind of broke onto the scene and saved me out of the Queef playoff championships. Like, he was the one who saved me because tight ends are tough to pick, but he's a certified top 5, like 114. And then the way Trevor Lawrence, I think that's why I picked him in fantasy or for the quarterbacks, because that connection is going to be crazy.
Did he save you when it was the calendar punishment or the diaper punishment?
Diaper punishment.
Lucky.
I think so. But and then Dalton Schultz next. He did well for me last year. He kind of helped save me just in the playoffs. And then Titans, I don't really know what they have going on there, but he was so high on him last year. That was his sleeper pick. He said he was going to be top 5 this year.
Could be.
I think he said it could be top 5 coming this season.
We'll go back.
He's going to be crazy. So fuck out of here. But I'll put them above.
Might have been a year early.
Okay, take it easy. And then the Colts, Jelani Woods, he's out for the season. He had a toe injury where it was maybe a couple of months, but now it's done. So he's 2 years where he hasn't played. So we don't really know what we're doing over here. We just got a bunch of them, but Ogletree, let's not sleep on Ogletree at the bottom.
Big body, huh?
He is a big body.
Let's get into our biggest queefs and our biggest sleepers of the AFC South. Max, why don't you lead us off with your biggest queef?
Last year, I had this guy as a sleeper because I thought Josh Allen was going to be throwing left and right to this guy, like just tearing it up. You know, we thought the Bills were going to have a big year. We said the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl, right? We both said that.
Yeah, you're right.
Gabe Davis is a queef. All right, straight up. I'm done with this guy. If you're drafting Gabe Davis over Brian Thomas Jr., you're queefed. Okay, go get Brian Thomas before you get Gabe Davis because, unless you like getting pink eye, which I find it hard to believe anyone likes to get pink eye, but some people like getting queefed in the face, cool breezy. So it's it's a fetish. It's a fetish, isn't it, queef?
I don't believe I've ever had Gabe Davis on my team, so he's definitely a queef, and he's lucky if he's the 4th option. He's lucky if he's the 5th option behind ETN too. ETN also, yeah,
I got it.
He's lucky if he's the 5th. Wilson, give us your biggest queef of the AFC South.
This is a pretty easy pick, but I got to do it because fuck the Titans. The Titans running back room. Main reason you lost Derrick Henry. Why did you do it? We don't know, but Tony Pollard, like, I do like him, but he needs kind of that bang and pop. He's the pop, and then he needs Zeke Elliott whenever he was amazing, whenever they were kind of together, and it was the fall off of Elliott, but you got him and Tajay Harris, and they're kind of the same. Tajay, I apologize. Spears.
Tajay Spears.
My bad. But anyways, those two, I knew it was Tajay, but they're good players, but them two together, they're both finesse guys, so you need a bruiser, and they don't have that, so it's a pretty easy pick for me.
Max, you hold your thoughts there on that queef pick, because I got to give my queef pick real quick. You ain't going to like this one, Wilson. I'm going to Indianapolis. Wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
Stay in your seat.
goodness.
Stay in your seat.
So high on Anthony Richardson that you're going to go draft him in the first round, but you don't want Michael Pittman,
First
huh?
round for Anthony Richardson.
Go
I'm
get
not
him.
drafting.
Go get him. Watch you
I'm,
borrow. Watch you borrow Queef Wilson's jersey while you're at it. Which is borrow. Switch shirts.
that's
Take your shirt
that's
off.
J,
The
I'll take
shirt
a
that you
JT
drooled all
shirt.
over. The shirt you drooled all over. Take that off. Wilson, give him your shirt.
I'll take a JT shirt. I'll take a JT shirt. I'm not drafting Anthony Richardson this year, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
My biggest queef in the AFC South, Indianapolis Colt wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. He was wide receiver 13 last year with 109 receptions. That was fourth in the NFL. Great year. Throwing out his rookie season, he's been in fantasy the wide receiver 13, the wide receiver 27, and the wide receiver 16. Currently on ESPN, he is being drafted as the wide receiver 12, where he's never finished, in the late third round. Fellas, we got a two-keeper league. That's a late first round pick for Michael Pittman Jr. No way in fucking hell. That's why he's my queef. He's going way too high, late third round for Michael Pittman Jr. He has 15 touchdowns in 62 career games. 15 touchdowns in 62 career games. That's not even one in every four. Get out of here. Anthony Richardson, he's going to be either handing it off to JT, the goal line, or rushing in himself. I don't see any more tutties coming from Michael Pittman Jr. You got to be a true stud to be a high-end wide receiver with a rushing quarterback. Michael Pittman Jr. going in the late third round on ESPN. I'm out. I'm out, boys.
That's a terrible choice.
Give me your thoughts, Queef.
That's a terrible choice.
You just a first rounder in our league on Michael Pittman Jr.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I'm not saying that, but let's
I'll take a second. I'll take a second round.
second. But that's not bad. That's not bad. And he's had Matt Ryan, Noodle Arm Matt Ryan. He had I forget who was after Rivers. There's been so many, but Jacoby Brissett, like he's not had good quarterbacks. Wentz was his best year, and if you watch those highlight tapes, he's going up grabbing. Mm-hmm. He's a grown man getting up there, and he might not be the fastest once he catches it. I mean, maybe that's that, but he's 109 receptions. That's gonna happen again. He's healthy. He's always on the field, and then touchdowns. I'm pretty. It was low. It was 4 touchdowns. So you give him 8, 9. That's what I mean. Yeah, stupid pick. Sorry.
I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under on 109 receptions this season for Michael Pittman Jr. No doubt about that. Max, give us your biggest sleeper in the AFC South.
Oh my goodness, boys. So Wilson, you're not gonna like me on this. I got Tyjae Spears. Okay, you queefs are talking about Tony Pollard, but I heard nothing really about Tyjae Spears yet. Okay, this guy's 23 years old. When the Titans drafted him in the 3rd round, I said, this is a great pick. Did you guys see that championship game where it was against USC? The guy had like 5 touchdowns. He had like 5 touchdowns. His last season at Tulane, he had, I think, how many touchdowns? 21? I think he had 21 touchdowns. He had 1,800 scrimmage. Yeah, 21 touchdowns, 1,837 on scrimmage yards. And, okay, let's talk about what he did last season as a rookie. 52 catches, 385 yards for a touchdown. I'm telling you right now, this guy can catch the ball in the backfield. He's quick. He's young. I already brought that up. He's 23 years old. I think this is going to be the future for the Titans, is this guy in the backfield. He reminds me a little bit of Travis Etienne just because just the speed and his catching ability. So, hey, you guys are sleeping on Tyjae Spears. I'll take him on my team and put him right in my flex.
How am I sleeping? How am I sleeping on Tyjae Spears? He's in your basement too
you were
for the
queefing about
position.
Tony Pollard. You were queefing about Tony Pollard.
Pollard's the starter. Tony Pollard's the starter.
We'll see.
They said it's going to be almost a 50-50 timeshare, hot hand approach, but Pollard's getting the first looks. Wilson, give us your thoughts on. Well, you already give us your thoughts because you called him a queef, the Tennessee running back room. But so give us your biggest sleeper for the AFC South.
The Colts D-line for sure, most specifically Latu, their 1st round pick, first defender in the draft taken this year. But last year, let's not sleep. We broke the franchise record for sacks, 51 sacks that year. And he, in college, in 2022, his first year back from the medical injury that he had with his neck, where they said he can't play anymore. He was 8th in the NCAA with sacks, and then 2023, 4th in the NCAA with sacks, and 1st in the NCAA with 22 tackles for loss. So he's like adding him to that room with DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, Kwity Paye on the other side. I mean, just imagine that. It's probably going to be 50 sacks, could be 60. Who knows? Let's not be crazy, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? That the kid is dominant. He's 6'5". They're comparing him to TJ Watt. Like it's the real deal. So just wait. Just wait. And that's why I feel like the Colts, they didn't add any cornerback, or they didn't address their secondary, because this is going to be so dominant. So I'm riding it. Pause.
Latu as the first defensive player drafted in this year's draft. Definitely a good pick for the Colts. Max, any thoughts on the Colts D-line quickly?
Well said, Wilson. Well said. I won't be sleeping on them for a potential pickup for a matchup week for defense. Yeah.
My biggest sleeper for the AFC South, Tennessee Titans wide receiver Calvin Ridley, boys. Wide receiver 18 last year. 76 catches for 1,016 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's currently being drafted as the wide receiver 28 in the late 7th. Calvin Ridley, he was tied for 5th last year for the most 20-plus yard wide receiver targets. Now, why is that important? Because Will Levis, Banana Rama, Mr. Mayo, he loves to chuck it deep. Max, you already brought up them biceps. He can chuck that. He can chuck that pigskin. 23% of all of Will Levis's attempts against zone last season went 20-plus yards. That was number 1 in the NFL. So we got Ridley, who likes the deep ball. We got Will Levis, who likes to throw the deep ball. Calvin Ridley, he also got paid. He signed the largest free agent contract for a wide receiver switching team since 2016. How you like that? How'd you like that?
AJ Brown wanted the same amount of money. You traded him away.
We don't need to get into that today. Brian Callahan, the new head coach, comes over from Cincinnati. He wants to throw it. Look at the Bengals offense the last few seasons. Joe Burrow chucks it 35, 40 times a game. Now, I don't think Will Levis is going to attempt that much, but Brian Callahan, he wants to throw it. Calvin Ridley, he was tied with CeeDee Lamb for the most end zone targets last season. And in his 4 most active seasons, Calvin Ridley, he's caught 10 tutties, 7, 9, and 8. He's never been below 7 touchdowns in a season. Calvin Ridley, he's only missed 4 games due to injury in his 5 seasons. In those 4 seasons where he wasn't suspended, remember he was suspended a year and a half for gambling. Yep. In those 4 seasons in fantasy, wide receiver 18, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 23, wide receiver 18. Like I said, he's going at wide receiver 28. He's never finished that low. This guy's a steal. He's gonna beat that ADP, no doubt. Wilson, anything on Calvin Ridley?
I mean, that's part of the reason I picked them to be the second wide receiver core in the South. They're good players. They're old, but they're good players. So I think that they'll have a great season. And Levis, like you said, he chucks it. Like he came onto the scene, had 4 touchdowns in his first game. He knows how to throw it deep. So, not bad.
Calvin Ridley, he loves the deep ball. Will Levis loves to chuck it. Over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns for Ridley last year. What do you think about this selection, Max?
I like Calvin Ridley. I do like Calvin Ridley. I think a lot of the chucks is going to lead to a lot of interceptions, though. So we will find out how many possessions that they're able to continue to chuck the ball downfield to Calvin Ridley. It might be 4 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown, but on other weeks it might be 2 catches for 10.
You taking over under 15 picks for Will Levis this year?
Oh man, I didn't even think about this one. He likes to chuck it. I'll go over.
Go over? Over under 15 picks for Will Levis.
Go under, but just with 14. So he's right there. He's right there.
I'll go under because I got faith. Max finishes up this podcast with your final standings prediction.
All right. Fun division, boys, but I got Texans on the top. Okay, I got the Houston Texans at number 1. I do have the Indianapolis Colts at number 2, baby. I do have a number 2. Jaguars number 3, and the Titans at the bottom of the barrel. Titans are still trying to rebuild. They're trying to rebuild here. Jaguars are still going to try to push. I'm telling you, they're sneaky. I keep saying they're sneaky. You look at the players. It's really not that bad.
Solid.
But if last thing I will say, I think that 2 teams from this division can make the playoffs. I'm talking Houston Texans, obviously, and yes, the Colts. I think the Colts can make it
this year. This guy. Colts fan deep down. Indiana boy.
Yeah. Bears fan, though. Bears fan.
Max, I got the same order as you. Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, and unfortunately, my Titans in the bottom. I don't mind getting another top 10 pick, maybe getting an offensive lineman, a defensive playmaker. so Titans can reload. But King Henry leaves us, that's okay. So it's a rebuilding season. Titans in the bottom, but unlike you, Max, I don't think the Colts are going to get a wild card. I'm sorry. They had a chance last year and they queefed in their panties and they ran out of panties for the week because they were doing so much laundry. So Colts out of the playoffs, only the Houston Texans making it from the AFC South. What do you think, Queef?
Okay. Texans number one. I mean, let's be serious. They're dominant. CJ Stroud is a baller. I hate to say it, and I'm now gonna have to be like a certified hater for the rest of my life. So that's fun for me. But I got them leading the division. Then the Colts being number two, because of course, I mean, what are we talking about with the other two teams?
Oh.
And I say that to playoff bid as well, because again, we made it almost. We were damn near one play away from getting to the playoffs with Gardner Minshew as the fucking quarterback. We were a top 10 offense with Gardner Minshew. Go back and watch the plays. So I think with AR, I mean, when we first came onto the scene against the Texans, Anthony Richardson back-to-back rushing touchdowns, and Minshew came in 2 touchdowns. We're there. In their home stadium, we're there. Like, we're neck and neck with them. And then the Jags and then the Titans. Of course, the Titans at the bottom. And Lawrence, I think maybe this is – I know I've picked him high, I guess fantasy-wise, but maybe it'll be just like last year where it was so many teams, 9-8, 9-8, and 10-7. Maybe those would be the records again.
I definitely love remind me of the coach's name for the Colts.
Shane Steichen helped Jalen Hurts be amazing the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Definitely love the coaching there for the Colts. Can definitely get them in the playoffs. I got them just missing, but yeah, Texans, all three of us are on them for the AFC South division. Wilson, anything you got for us on this AFC South before you get out of here, brother?
Go Colts, and praying for good health all throughout the year for every team, especially the Colts, but every team. Nobody needs to be hurt.
Yep.
Definitely Titans are in the basement of this division, or the Queefs. I'll take another top 10 pick, though. I'll take another top 10 pick. Max, put us to bed. Get us out of here.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, for coming out to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast tonight. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Who do you believe is going to win this division? Who are your sleepers? Who are your queeps? Who's your biggest player you're going to draft in this year's fantasy football draft? Who are you going to take? Okay, I'll tell you right now, boys, I'm high on CJ Stroud on those weapons. Okay, I think we all are. We were definitely bragging about Houston, even Wilson over there, and being such a big Colts fan. He's wearing a jock strap from his favorite player. But I gotta tell you right now, boys, go get those weapons. Go get them while you can, because they are gonna go fast.
I think definitely Houston has maybe the best weapons in all the NFL with those 3 receivers: Dalton Sharps, Joe Mixon out of the backfield. My goodness, that is juicy.
Now, Cole Breezy, do everyone a favor and go change that shirt. Okay, I can smell. I
just
you
put
from
it
here.
on. I changed the last one.
You stink. You smell.